Effect Earth. I found the blog that I wrote about it. It's a motion simulator. It's in California's Great America.
As Mass Effect is one to be placed in.
Okay, Secondhand's saying that the game's still pretty quiet.
Game's a little quiet? Okay.
Trying to think of how it is. So you go into this giant theater. You sit in these like 4D seats that kind of like jostle you around and like vibrate. And you are so it has a story. And the weirdest part about Mass Effect The Ride, which is actually called Mass Effect New Earth, is that there's a dude who's a real dude, and the real dude is acting. And he's like selling this as, you're in the universe of Mass Effect. Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't he pretending to be what's his name?
Conrad Werner.
Yeah, Conrad Werner.
He's in The Ride. He introduces himself as Conrad Werner. I've had it to where the person who introduces themselves as Conrad Werner is a girl. And if you know things about Mass Effect, that's a little weird. But, you know, if they can get an enthusiastic teenager on a summer program to man that ride, then they'll take it. But basically, it's right next to the planet Snoopy Zone, which seems like a weird place to put Mass Effect The Ride.
Oh, this face so good.
Planet Snoopy Zone.
Okay,
Wow.
How is game audio? Can people hear game audio in the chat?
It's right next to the planet Snoopy Zone.
The game audio is right next to planet.
The zero game audio.
All right. All right, I'm gonna mess around with this then, and I need to game audio source.
This face is really, really good.
Audio output capture.
Evaluate thousands of
Hey, Ryder, it looks like horse.
So anyways, so to go back to the idea of Mass Effect The Ride, so you are people attempting in the Mass Effect universe trying to go to a wonderful vacation, and so you ride a space gondola to this planet called Terra Nova. And then, of course, you know, this is where, you know, the Mass Effect relays still work, but again, this came out 3 or 4 months before this game, so that's the weird choice. But you know, so you ride the Mass Effect relay, and
I signed up for a
the
little
ship
adventure before
goes right next to
buckle up.
the Normandy,
Yeah.
and you see it, and
Over here now,
you find out that the pilot of the Normandy is
he said mission ready
not
within the hour.
Any idea why?
not
No,
Mr. Mass
but
Effect,
I'm guessing
not
that's
Shepard,
where your adventure comes in.
and it's
Okay, everything checks out.
it's
Just
a
one more
weird
before I
thing,
send
and
you
then
on
you
your
go
way.
into
Let's test your SAM implant. Sam, are you monitoring?
you go to the planet.
Sam, are you
You're
online?
supposed to go to your like
Dr.
wonderful
Sparrow.
tour
Good morning, Ryder. Are you
of
feeling well?
the universe or of this planet, and they're trying to basically, the jokey joke is that
just
you're
need a second to
actually
get my bearings.
they're trying to
What's
sell you
this about
on
my
a
implant?
space
A
timeshare,
routine check. After
and
being in
that
stasis,
it's
we want to make sure
a
the connection's still
scam.
live.
But then
As the
a
team's
Reaper
mission,
lands on the planet,
well-being
and then
is
the
my
space
primary
gondola
concern.
has to run away from the Reaper
Assuming
because
the implants work
it's
as
trying to
advertised,
destroy the planet,
Sam
but
sees what you see, in theory. We won't know for sure until we get
it
you
wants
in
to
the field.
eat
How are
your
you
space
feeling
gondola
otherwise?
full of space tourists.
I feel like
And
a 600-year-old popsicle. I hope we pack
Is
more
Mass
coffee.
Effect popular to justify
Based
a
on
popular
entire
enough
right.
to
This is a
justify
great
all that?
question that I tried to come down to
Wait,
the
Adena what?
the part of the
It
ride,
just means you're
but
still shaking off your nap. No reason why we can't
so
get
you
you on
run
your
in.
way.
It's weird.
Though
So
you may
you
wanna
end
hang
up
around while
destroying
we
the
revive your
Reaper
system.
using
It
the
always
space
helps if
gondola
it may
because the
affect-
space
I like the sound of
gondola,
that.
for some reason, has guns on it. So the tourist space gondola starts shooting the Reaper in its eyeball, and that kills the Reaper, which seems to like completely negate the whole premise of Mass Effect 3, which is these Reapers are really hard to kill.
I have a more pressing question. Why didn't the pilot of the ship just turn left?
Just hang on.
Yeah.
Engineering, report.
Kyle's sleeping.
Sure.
I think you described this ride to me as a defunct land episode waiting to happen.
Yes, it's totally a defunct land thing waiting to happen because no one's writing it because no one gives a shit about Mass Effect.
Brace for a reset.
But there is like
Everyone okay?
there's always
I
a
think
need
so.
to have a good dark ride in an
We're
amusement
not
park.
sure. Sensors are scrambled.
Oh yeah, and there's
But
the
it's good
part
to
of
see
the
you're up.
ride where
Feels
it's
like
you
centuries
get
since we spoke.
like space aliens that are not like talking aliens, but they're just gross monsters. Spit water in your face, and they're using water from their lake, and so it smells like dirt. Just unfiltered water from their lake. It spritzes in your face, and it's like, this sucks. And then you find out that the captain of the Normandy is Garrus and not Shepard, which is a weird choice. And
Ryder?
Is my sister okay?
Boy, it's a weird ride. But it's actually like a well-produced ride.
Procedure was interrupted.
So was that the only Mass Effect related?
Don't worry. It just means the process
You
will
have
take
a
a bit
really good
longer than
investigation
usual.
to that.
Sam?
My connection to
Is it?
Cyber
Yeah.
was
It's
suspended.
like if you're asking,
However,
like,
a
is this
pulse
the only
respiration
place
of
where you
brain
can
activity.
ride Mass Effect the ride? Yes. They only did one
To be on the safe
because.
side, we'll need
So
to
the
keep
reason
her
why
in a
this is
low-level
because
coma for a
California's
while.
Great
And let
America
her body regain consciousness naturally.
wanted to do
She'll
these
be
motion
fine.
simulators, and
Glad
they
to
wanted
hear
to do different
Thanks,
types of
Lexi.
motion
Keep us
simulators.
updated.
So there was one where you basically have like a toy
Right.
gun and you're
I'll wait for
shooting
you
the
at the door,
screen.
whenever you're
And then
ready
there
to
was
go.
one that was like this, where it's like basically a movie with a performer in the center. They wanted to see which one did the
Enjoy
best,
your nap, Ryder?
and obviously it's the one with the toy gun because kids like
Maybe
that
another
kind of
decade or
shit.
two wouldn't have hurt.
And then fun fact, that one is themed to Plants vs. Zombies, which you can kind of justify because
Yeah.
you can kind of justify that because, you know, even if you don't know the games, your plants want to fight zombies, right?
Is malfunctioning.
I mean, those mobile games were wildly popular,
They
so I
are
imagine a lot of
wildly
people
popular.
actually do know.
I mean, and then, so the reason why they went with Mass Effect is because
On it.
they're trying to make this motion simulator that appeals to the teen to 25-year-old demographic, and they find out there's a video game studio named BioWare that's just 5 miles away from the amusement park.
Shows damage from
And so they went to them, it's like, hey, can we borrow one of your games? And they're like, sure.
I forgot there was a freaking Batman detective mode scanner in this.
How often do you have to use that?
It's reset.
You just use it to like scan anomalies and crap.
It's working!
And
You
you
use
get
it
like
pretty
codex stuff,
often.
right?
As long as I don't have to scan planets, then I'm
No,
happy.
no.
Yeah. Last time I played Mass Effect 2, I modded that and the mini games out. It's like all I have to do. I found a mod where all you do is shoot one probe at a planet, and then it just gets all the resources. That's all you have to do.
The adventure
I should get that,
begins.
yeah.
That and one that you just straight skips the mini games. You just auto win them.
Go ahead and take us to the bridge.
Like for all of them?
Yeah,
Including
for
the-
all of them.
including
Like
the
I've
locked
played
ones?
through the game so many times over like the past decade that I
Yeah,
know
it's
I
just a
can
pain.
pass them all. I can do it in my sleep. I don't even need to touch them.
Especially the Mass Effect 1,
Yeah,
like
Mass Effect
unlocking
1 was
minigame.
Simon Says.
That's a pain in the ass.
And didn't they
So-
change it to like Pipe Dream in the PC version?
No,
Yeah,
no,
the
so
PC
the PC version is like
Helm control,
it's like
report.
Frogger,
The
but like a
PC
circular
We're drifting.
Frogger.
Yeah, the PC
Flight
mini games
controls
are
aren't
different from
responding.
the console mini games. So when
First
I
priority
tried
is
to play
stopping
Mass
these
Effect 1
outages.
again, that game is so janky.
Mainline power's been knocked out.
Do you,
We're on reserves,
here's
Captain.
the thing
It
that
won't
I
last.
forgot about Mass Effect 1 is the fact that you get your class
position?
specializations by doing that
Unknown.
weird
We lost
mission on the
telemetry.
moon,
Sam,
and there's nothing
we need
quite
eyes.
like
Oh,
that
that
to
is
where
a
the mission
normal-looking
adjust
dad
sensor
rider.
array.
Disappointing.
where there's an
You may be
entire
half
mission
That's
that looks
surprisingly
like
normal
a
looking.
subclass
Captain, the
in game.
protocol's
Like
clear.
it's such a
In
weird
the absence
choice.
of communication with the Nexus or the other arcs, we proceed to our appointed golden
Oh
world.
man, that
Solid
rider is so
ground.
cool.
If it's even out there. Nobody
Look
said
at that
anything about
sculpted
running into
hair,
an energy
man.
cloud, and that's just a wild
It's
guess what we
poofy.
hit.
It's got volume. He's got depth.
He conditioners,
Stairway.
okay?
Alec, I need to
He's
assess
got
the
gel in
damage.
there somewhere.
Stop the bleeding.
That's why
We've
it's
got
standing up so
20,000 people
perfectly
asleep
still.
on this ship. Let's give them a chance to wake
I
up.
think everybody's
Can you blame her?
She is the captain. I think she gets the final word.
Well,
Yeah,
she
Cora,
might.
just
This isn't
talk to
about
this
having
person
the
as if
final
they are a
word.
normal-looking thing.
Yes,
There's
sir.
nothing to report in terms
We're
of
coming
weirdness
through.
here.
I mean, Cora, I think.
My God.
Cora looks like she's hung around a punk rock scene before.
Is that our
Yeah.
She's used to weird-looking people.
That's
I
Habitat
apologize to
7.
anyone who might be in the
New
punk
Earth,
rock scene.
if we're lucky.
I think punk rockers would see our man here,
All of our
Heathcliff
long-range
Rider,
scans told us it
and
was in the
proceed
green
to
zone.
set him on fire, believing he's an
human cell.
abomination of God.
I should probably have said.
Gave that
It
look of
doesn't even look
disappointment
the
to his
same.
son.
She's right. It looks pretty dicey
He's like,
from here. Are we
yeah,
sure about
it's
those
my
scans?
son.
It's a
Here's
good
the
question.
weird thing that I've noticed
Things
in
can
terms of
change.
like, because I went
It's been
back to
600
Andromeda
years.
just out of the
Sam.
curiosity when they announced the
The energy from the
remasters
phenomenon
of
is down to
Mass
consensus.
Effect.
Planetary conditions are on
This
hand.
game, they've fixed a lot of what made this game
We're
like
marooned.
technically bad.
20,000 souls
Yeah.
adrift at sea.
By the time
Now,
I
in
played
Power
this
terms
game,
of like
out,
storytelling
stays out.
and like the base of the game, yes,
We need to know if
those
that's
issues
safe
are still
harbor.
going to come out. But in terms
And
of like
it's not.
this game was unplayable when
Pathfinder,
it
it'll be
first
my job
launched,
to
they
find an
fixed a
alternative.
lot of that.
What we
yeah,
trained for.
I
If
saw
this
the
goes
gifts.
well,
Um,
we're already home.
There's a video on Giant Bomb that
Yes.
Brad uploaded
Alright,
at some point
just
of
make
just
it quick.
some bad
Harper,
shit
the
happening.
rest of the team should be
Yeah.
awake by now. Have them
Um,
spin up 2 shuttles.
T-posing.
Planet Fallen 30.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I haven't encountered any bugs, so
Stubborn one, isn't
It's
he?
I want to say it's
fine.
He cares in
admirable
his
that
own
they
way.
basically
Enough to give
fixed
him a
this
chance.
busted ass game, but at the same
Suppose
time,
you're
like
right. He is our pathfinder.
it still doesn't really capture the
If this
heart
doesn't
of
work
those.
out,
Even
we'll
even
need him
in
more
Mass
than
Effect
ever.
3, right? Like the heart of
I need
this
an ETA on our
franchise,
sensor
which
repairs.
is
We're blind out
character
here.
interactions, light combat. You know,
I think we'll get to some of that here.
yeah.
and I personally have always been kind of a stand for Mass Effect 3. I will defend that game.
My sister's gonna hate that she missed this.
I like
all
3.
the writers
I think
adrenaline
3 is best played with all the
I guess it's in her
DLC.
blood.
Yes, absolutely. The
She
Leviathan
beat the world
DLC
by 1 minute.
specifically, it is
Couldn't wait to get
unacceptable
started.
that was not in the launch of the game.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry.
But
I'm
like
sure Sarah will pull through.
when I finished,
When
like
she does,
the ending of Mass
still
Effect
wants
3 obviously
stories.
isn't
So,
great, but like that,
let's get
I
out
honestly
there
think the
and
vast
find
majority of that
I'm
game is
prepared to
pretty
say that the
good.
original
Right.
ending of Mass
You'll
Effect
wanna
3
get
is
help.
good, and they should have just
Maybe
stuck
stop
with it.
the-
That's just that's
Arbitrary
usually-
Water knows this opinion of mine
The
is
what?
I think that the original ending for
Got
Mass
it.
Effect 3 was good, and they should have
The
just stuck with
Pathfinder is
it.
now requiring sidearms.
I mean, it didn't bother me when I finished that game the first time. I kind of just
Dad
shrugged
was
my
mountain
shoulders
climbing
and
back
went
on
and made a sandwich.
Nerve.
I didn't like freak out about it.
And also, synthesis for life, you
hope
fuckers.
I won't need this.
You never know.
I kind of
You are
don't
history's
care either
greatest
way.
monster.
Looks
I
like Dad's
want to
already
make
seen help.
everybody a robot man and
Better
person
not.
and
No
woman,
bathroom breaks in this
whatever. Cool robot shit, man.
I cannot truck with that opinion. I think Mass Effect 3 is good, except when it isn't.
Dr. Carlisle, with everything
mean,
going on, I think the
It's obviously not as good as 2,
Pathfinder
and like
wants
writing
some
wise,
medical
it's nowhere near
help.
as good as.
If that is home down there,
Yeah,
I'm happy to knock on the door.
I don't know.
And I absolutely agree. This is something
Yeah,
that
we're
we'll
just not sure
revisit
what's on the
because I
other
think
side
I'm
of the
coming to
door.
the time where I actually need to
No
bounce.
problem.
But
If it
my
has teeth,
opinion
I
has
bought the
always been,
pliers, yanked
and I
them
think
out myself.
Arbitrary, you and I are basically, you can kind of justify why both of us feel this way. Mass Effect 2 is
All right,
probably
team,
the
button it
best
up.
game that
We leave in
BioWare
5.
has ever
Sir,
made,
we broke out the
but
weapons
I'll
as
be damned if
requested.
I call it their best
Anything we should
RPG
know about?
because
Seems
it's not an
prudent given the
RPG.
situation.
It's not.
We'll
No.
be short-handed.
I think they made the right choice in Mass Effect going from
I heard what happened.
going from RPG to
Your
action.
sister's
game.
strong.
When they try to
She'll
make
make it.
stuff like Dragon
That-
Age 2,
Sarah wouldn't want us to worry.
Or-
about
That
her.
should have stayed an RPG.
You're right.
or even
Mission
looking at
comes
what they
first.
did in terms of trying to
Though,
reboot the franchise
I
with
doubt your mother
Inquisition.
would have
Like
seen
there
it
were
that way.
consequences to Mass Effect
I
2
promised
that
her I'd
kind
get you
of
two here safely.
had greater implications.
But before you bounce, I want to ask a question. Do you
Okay,
think
team,
this
listen
game,
up.
or either of you, do you think this
I
game
chose each
or
of you
Dragon
for
Age
the Pathfinder
Inquisition
team,
is
not
the
just
better
because you're
BioWare
talented and
game?
passionate.
Inquisition has
Because
characters
you're
that are
dreamers,
likable
like me.
and some
We dream
pretty
of
decent
exploring the
world
unknown,
building stuff. Like
finding the edge of the
I
map.
actually think that the Mage versus Nut
discovering what lies
Crusader
beyond.
stuff in Inquisition is done well.
When people look back on this,
And
will.
I like certain
They'll
parts of the
remember we didn't give up.
storytelling, even if it's like
we
warm,
kept
fuzzy
dreaming
mittens
that
kind
our
of
first few
storytelling.
faltering
Like,
steps in
oh,
Andromeda
hey, Morgan's here and
were the
she's got that
beginning
kid.
of
Remember when
everything
you
they
had to impregnate her to
only
further
get
the
to
plot of
choose
Dragon Age
first.
Origin? To
So,
not make her
let's go
leave
make
your
history.
party? Yep, we remember that.
My character did that when I played through Origins.
Been waiting 600 years for this.
Yep.
Remember
Earlier
when,
this
like,
year.
a character just basically asks, I want to have a kid, and you have the dialogue choice of saying nah or let's go?
Or
We
if you're
remember
a
that
female
part of the
character,
story.
make Alistair do it.
And she's all like, not that, dickhead, no.
Alistair and Loghain.
Wait, you can make Loghain.
Yes, you could make Loghain do it.
I've never finished Origins.
And
I
that
got
entire franchise, let's be honest, every single Dragon Age game has ended poorly.
It appears
Except
to be an
Awakening.
unstable mass of dark energy.
I think Awakening's ending is
Awakening
quite
is
good. Awakening's probably the best Dragon Age game, and I think no one really knows that.
That was definitely my point
Gravity
by the
anomalies
end of my time with the Origins replay this year. Is Awakening is secretly like a really good game. It's
Sure.
honestly a little too short.
We didn't have a chance to meet back in the Milky Way.
I actually like the fact that it's short and in a perfect world. I actually think that works to its benefit
Yeah.
because remember, it was like a little flavor to lead into the full game's coming soon.
Yep.
And yeah, we can come back and talk about it, but fuck that.
Dragon Age 2 playthrough will probably will resume next week on my own Twitch account. I've been working on this. I've been working on a grad school application.
In Dragon Age 2 and its goddamn story, like there's and we don't need to talk about this anymore, but there is a specific point in that story where I feel like, nah, there's a specific thing that a character does that I just cannot, not cool with. But you have to keep said character in your party because he's the only viable healer in your party, and you're fucked if you don't keep him.
That's kind of a problem I have with the first Baldur's Gate. I went with the canon party, and there's no good healer. There also doesn't seem to be like that game doesn't seem to be designed around healing mid battle anyway. But it.
And also, yeah, I have to go. I will be back soon, but I will say this to Arbitrary. As you know, last night I frequented the fine products of the land of Georgia, and I think I have officially found Georgia's greatest game.
Okay. Georgia the country. Oh no.
Alright, I'll be back, but I gotta
Yeah, you'll be back for
the end of this.
The end of this.
Your jet is malfunctioning.
I don't know what the end of this involves.
Approaching terminal velocity.
Disappointment.
Well, I mean, you're already playing Andromeda. I feel like the only thing going for Dragon Age Origins in this post-CRPG Renaissance world is that it's the only one that's like really fully 3D, like that you have a behind the back camera, which Baldur's Gate 3 appears like it's gonna get to the point where it has one of those.
Yeah.
Because you can already get 90% of the way there.
Yeah. Yep. My point with Dragon Age Origins is definitely like that game is less special in a post Divinity Original Sin and Pillars of Eternity world. Yeah, you and I both played through Pillars this year, and
yeah.
I know you weren't as hot on it as I was.
This is Ryder. Come in.
I think a lot of my frustrations with it came from like that was during the whole. I was working from home a lot.
The dark
So what I was
ages of
doing.
April.
Yeah, what I was doing was I was sitting in this chair. And it's not the same chair I'm in. It was like an older chair that was really uncomfortable.
Well,
I was spending 8 hours in that chair doing my job, and as soon as the job ended, I wasn't even getting up. I was just going straight to Pillars of Eternity. I didn't even think. Maybe I hate this game so much because I'm spending all day in this chair. Your PS4 appears to be choppy right now, or is that just my stream?
It might just be the stream. Yeah, the bit rate's
how's your survival training? I've seen my
getting
share
a
of
little
troubles.
choppy here and there.
Well, Crazy just found us. Those rocks out there are floating. Terra Incognita.
Uh-oh.
All right, it's back up.
Some of these plants look like tentacles.
But yeah, I kind of want to play through Pillars 1 again with
explains why we lost our sound connection.
A better, better regulation of when I am and am not.
Yeah, the dark days of April drove us all nuts.
Yeah. I wound up not hating it. I actually it was a combination of that and I was trying to do the fight with what's his face, that priest behind his temple in the DLC. I was trying to do it 2 levels below max. Apparently you really need to be max level to do that.
Yeah, the DLC does not mess around.
What the hell is this? Come on, we gotta get through it.
Sorts of things together. I finally just F it, and I went and beat it. In retrospect, I do genuinely think it's a great game. I do think there are some crazy difficulty spikes.
Yeah, the DLC
that it maybe doesn't need, and I don't think it explains itself very well.
Take a shot at that fuel cell.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
It has loads of text about the mechanics.
Yeah.
And without being really clear about any of it.
That's fair, and I feel like they're better with that too.
There! We get up that cliff, we find high ground.
Alright.
Is it just me or is the stream kind of...
Not sure we want to be the tallest thing around here.
Alright. The stream...
I am so.
Damn it. Maybe I should drop to 7.
I think I can see a path up. We'll use the jump jets if we have to. Into the breach! Think I'd rather fall than get hit by lightning. How'd my dad find you? I was a cop.
The one thing about this game that I think actually is good is
tell you over a beer sometime.
Yeah, the jumping, dashing, all about thing was actually... I've been,
We're getting there.
That's fun.
It's not exactly Doom Eternal, but...
I think I see the top.
I can't expect everything to be Doom Eternal.
I can't.
That Doom Eternal DLC is...
bad? I haven't heard anything about it.
No, okay, so the first level is great. Probably one of my favorite levels from that whole game, which is saying a lot, because I love that game. The second level takes... Except for it throws marauders at you all the time, and they suck, but eventually I learn to deal with them. I still think it's a great level. The second one, and especially the third one, they introduced a new enemy called a spirit, which will possess certain powerful enemies like Barons of Hell, Arachnotrons, and so on and so forth. And when they possess them, those enemies get more powerful, quite a bit more powerful and faster. And it goes over the top in a way that doesn't work.
It usually does.
Okay.
Work particularly well. It feels like they're going to. It feels like they're going. It feels like they've reached the height of the difficulty they can extract out of the system, and now they're looking for ways to make it difficult that don't gel well with everything else. If that makes any sense. Like the second level has a ton of very cramped spaces with a bunch of very fast enemies. There are places where you're fighting tyrants where they don't even really fit.
Okay.
and
over.
it's
Bishop,
just a little bit too
so much.
much. I've almost beat
locals.
it. Like, I got to the
Thanks for
final
jumping
boss,
in.
and the final boss has a
We
like
tried
4
talking. I guess they didn't want to listen. What else could we do?
phases, and the final phase, which I got
Saved my life.
to,
Yeah, at least we know
is
it's
kind
one.
of ridiculous.
The brochures will lie to aliens who want to shoot your head off.
I mean, the final boss in regular Doom Eternal fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So that tracks at
The way they
least.
treated you?
Yeah, it's
Blood
choppy.
samples, I'd say.
I don't know what's
Blood
up here.
Who says we'd even understand? Or they'd understand
Okay.
us? It's a new galaxy. I guess it's too much to expect they'll play by Milky Way rules.
They
broke the rules in any
Yeah,
galaxy.
is your
if
computer,
it's chopping
like-
up, I might might turn it off for a second and switch,
Do it a thing
drop
update
down
or
to
something?
720.
Where are the others?
So
Gone.
that I
Kirkland
think my
and Greer
parents
went
On
might
that-
be
for
running
help.
something upstairs too.
Come on.
On that dialogue, yeah,
Can you move? I think it's broken.
you're also choppy.
You guys push ahead and
Okay.
look for the others. You sure?
All right, I'm gonna stop the
Yeah.
stream for a second.
Just find us a ride out of here. And take a few more of them
And
out
drop
while
down
you're
to
at it.
720p, just so it's a little more consistent. Right.
Whoa. Take a look at these bodies. What are these things?
I will.
Okay, I need to get up for a second anyway.
Yep, this is a good time to get your drink. All right, stream output.